Hello and welcome along to a bonus special emergency episode of the Snack Break podcast, because today is a very, very exciting day. Today is Sunday, the 26th of July, 2026, and last night in UK time at precisely 1 a.m. in San Diego Comic-Con, something very, very big went down. For those unaware, Marvel Studios has returned to Hall H for a very exciting panel in which they revealed a lot of big news regarding the future of the MCU, including news relating to Avengers Doomsday, upcoming movies, and one very exciting casting announcement. So without further ado, let's dive into it and chat all things Marvel Studios in Hall H. For those unaware, Marvel Studios in Hall H is somewhat of a time-held tradition in San Diego Comic-Con. Over the years, Marvel had made arguably some of their biggest announcements in that hall at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's always made an international splash, even outside the walls of nerd culture, or indeed the hall itself, I suppose. They announced the original Avengers cast there. Tom Hiddleston's casting as Loki was also announced there. Have to say, don't want to sound like an old man, but back in my day, I remember the good old days of 2019 when they announced like 1,700 movies. And none of them got made. So I'm sort of quite curious to discuss what's come up today. So we're kicking things off with the Avengers Endgame Encore. For those unaware, this is the Avengers Endgame re-release. This begins September the 25th, from my understanding. It's going to be re-releasing all over the world. Kevin Feige said 2019 was a very long time ago. The world was a different place, but remind us of what it was like to be in that theatre, cheering along and enjoying that crazy enthusiasm is why we're re-releasing Avengers Endgame on September 25th. And I have to say, this is something I'm very much excited for. We're going to be getting brand new footage. This exclusive re-release will feature brand new footage, setting the stage for what's to come in Doomsday. Apparently, part of this could relate to what's-his-face, Captain America going back in time and sort of being warned of some of the dangerous time travel shenanigans and multiversal happenings that could occur as a result of his going back to be with Peggy Carter and find love. I have to say, very, very excited for this. I did not see Endgame in cinemas when it originally released. I wasn't even into the MCU at the time, so it's going to be incredibly exciting to go see this. I'm looking forward to seeing this with some similarly Marvel-themed friends or Marvel-excited friends. So incredibly keen to see what they have to show. Even if this wasn't even called Endgame Encore or didn't have any of the extra stuff, I'd be happy to appeal to the cash grab and just go with it. I have to say, I'm not especially keen on the definition that Doomsday is a direct sequel to Endgame, because I feel like you're just explaining the MCU, but surely everything's a sequel to the entire MCU. I feel like, personally, that sort of whole term that, this is a direct sequel, you don't have to have watched anything in between Endgame and Doomsday, is a little bit of a ploy to get people back into the MCU in time for Doomsday to make a ton of money and reassure them that, don't worry, you're not going to be out of place. I think everything is a sequel to each other in the MCU, so saying that this is a direct sequel, I guess so, but everything's a sequel to each other. Then onwards to what is, in my opinion, the most exciting news of the entire show. It was finally confirmed that Ryan Gosling is going to be taking to the big screen as Ghost Rider in 2028. Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Sean Levy is going to direct, and as I mentioned, films will hit theatres in 2028. Sean Levy said that we spent a lot of time last year making Star Wars Starfighter, which, I have to say, I immediately when I saw Sean Levy was attached, was like, yay, Deadpool and Wolverine, yay, the Fall Guy. But I forgot, he's obviously already been working with Ryan Gosling for next year's Star Wars Starfighter, which comes out in May next year. So obviously there's a really great creative chemistry between the two. And he said, and as Ryan started talking about his vision for this character, we started riffing, and I finally said, bro, let's ride. So guys, we'll see you in 2028. In my opinion, this is very, very exciting. I think Ryan Gosling is a perfect casting for Ghost Rider. I'm very intrigued that this is what they're launching into the future of the MCU with. Obviously, we've got Secret Wars in 2027. I don't know if this is going to be the first film that comes out right after that. I think it's quite interesting that they haven't given us a specific release date. We've just been told 2028. Of course, I'm going to try not to get my hopes too excited because, I hate to bring it up on such a joyful day, but Mahershala Ali is Blade. Where is it, guys? So, it does feel a little bit like, okay, cool, but there's a Blade movie that's supposed to be happening. I remember this. It's happened before. I remember an announcement just like this that hasn't come to fruition yet. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm incredibly excited for this. I think Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider, as I said, is really good casting. Sean Levy, I think, is perfectly attached. I think Ghost Rider comes from very much a different corner of the Marvel comics, and how he's going to integrate into the MCU, I think, is something that will be handled very well by Sean Levy, who, of course, has that experience with the likes of Deadpool in Deadpool and Wolverine, and can add that more of a comedic touch to a film while still ensuring that it has a great heart and an amazing story to it as well. So extremely excited to see what becomes of this. Obviously, there's been leaks and rumors that this guy is going to be in Doomsday as well. Or is it Secret Wars? He's going to be in one of the two. Can't remember which, but there's been heavy leakage that he's going to be in this film. Could be that he makes his appearance. I think it's very, very likely that we get a first appearance from Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider in one of those two films, leading on to the solo Ghost Rider film. Have to say, this really wasn't what I was expecting. I'd seen rumors that there might be a Midnight Suns film reveal that Ghost Rider would be a part of, but getting a solo Ghost Rider film is something that, for me, I can't necessarily... Well, I guess we can sort of comment on what the quality of it could be. Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy, dream team. Well, we haven't seen Starfighter, but hopefully it should be a dream team. If Starfighter turns out to be rubbish, then we get worried. But for now, we can hopefully say that they'll be very, very good together. But I just think that this broils with possibility. There's just so much potential for what this film could be. And I think they've done a wonderful job here with giving us this title. And this is obviously a big revelation. And we know that Ryan Gosling reportedly went to Marvel Studios and pitched this himself. So he's clearly very excited for it. And Sean Levy seems to very much mirror that enthusiasm. So getting Ryan Gosling into the MCU and getting Sean Levy back in the MCU with this film where they've intentionally sort of given us this amazing tease but told us very little apart from the casting and director, this amazing dream team, I think is very, very exciting. So much possibility and potential there. So can't wait for that. Then onwards to Spider-Man Brand New Day. Jon Bernthal took to the stage to tease an exclusive look at the film, showcasing the relationship, it says here, between his puncher and Tom Holland's Spider-Man as they face off against the Hulk. You can dig for details of that online if you so wish. I'm personally not going to. In the UK, film released in 3 days. They've done the hard work. They don't really need to do anything else to make me think that this is going to be a cool film. I will be there. I can't wait. I don't really need to see any more of it. And again, that only went out to the Hall H attendees, as did, I forgot to mention this, a sort of brand new using old footage but re-edited trailer for Avengers Encore. Then onwards to Avengers Doomsday, which I think is a very interesting place within this film, within this showcase, because we got the trailer for Avengers Doomsday just on a random afternoon earlier this week. I think we'd all sort of been expecting for this to release during this panel, and so for it to just. And like I'd even made plans with Archie and King, who I did the reaction video with. It's up on the channel now if you want to go check that out. I'd made plans last week saying, look, guys, it's dropping at 1:30 a.m. If we schedule ourselves in for 11, I can get this edited, we can get out in the morning, or sort of 11 a.m. UK time, because I did not get up for the panel, given that I'm not at the panel, and it's not like they live streamed it. So I just woke up and looked at the articles that had come in. So anyway, it's a very interesting position here with regards to Avengers Doomsday, because they did apparently show a brand new trailer for the film, which, very strongly implied that the fantastic Pedro Pascal apparently puts in a really great performance as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, apparently, saying, Victor, did you do this? And Victor says that all of you have lived in stolen lives. It is time you return them, or something to that effect, which very, very exciting. It all sounds very cool. Obviously, I can't judge that much of it without having actually seen the trailer itself. That was an exclusive for Hall H attendees, and obviously that is always a slight shame for those of us who can't make it out to San Diego Comic-Con, hearing these things and being like, oh, a boy can dream. I remember 2 years ago, it was the Fantastic Four trailer that we got very exciting teases of, and it was just, yeah. In the end, our imagination could only have, it was always better in our imagination, that trailer. I perfectly enjoyed the Fantastic Four First Steps film, but certainly the leaks that were coming out there at the time were especially sort of getting everybody very, very much excited. Also in attendance, we had directors Joe and Anthony Russo, and then with regards to cast, we had cast appearing with different in different sections, so sort of your X-Men section and your Avengers section. We had Rebecca Romijn, Kelsey Grammer, James Marsden, Lewis Pullman, Tenoch Huerta, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, Letita Wright, Winston Duke, Simu Liu, Danny Ramirez, Anthony Mackie, Paul Rudd, Pedro Pascal, Haley Atwell, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr., all of whom took United to take a massive selfie with the crowd. Apology if I butchered any names there. Attendees in the hall also revealed a Doom mask and cape, which they donned as Downey took to the microphone, and the entire hall turned green. And there has been a massive marketing push this year. Even a few weeks before San Diego Comic-Con, we had the entire place, decorated with sort of a Doom version of, you can see it in the background there, a Doom version of the San Diego Comic-Con International logo, which is very, very cool. Downey told the crowd, it's not easy being green. I need a lot of help. I need this whole family around me to finally assist me in being an arch enemy, which is daunting. Marvel Studios Hall H pound from 2024. When his casting was announced 2 years ago, I feel like we have been waiting for this movie forever. 4 years ago, time before that they were at Hall H, it was announced under a different title. We have been waiting for this movie for so long. He continued, when you all had faith in me 2 years ago, you lift me up, and I think we made something real special. But decisions will have to be made. Perhaps you're on the side of the good guys, or perhaps you'll have to consider the alternative. I feel like Robert Downey Jr., I didn't see the speech, but he can just say anything at these events. It's like when people probably dissected the different masks, same task. It's like, what does that mean? What is the task? Deliver a great performance? I guess. He can sort of say anything at these panels, and it's just like, Robert Downey Jr., let's go. And I'm all for it. Apparently, a Doomsday trailer was shown. Very, very exciting, as I mentioned there. Ryan Reynolds then appeared as Gene Poole, who did a very funny little bit where he came up and sort of hinted, teased some sort of involvement with the film. Apparently, he said he wasn't in the film, but he sort of teased some sort of upcoming project, which is very, very exciting for all Deadpool fans. Gene Poole, I don't know why he's Gene Poole. Somebody could tell me, that'll be great. And then he did, funnily enough, he did the whole why was Thor crying thing, and which particularly entertained me, given that the night before I had been having frantic text messages with Archie A. Plays, who's, if you've seen the previous episode of this podcast, will know, has been getting into the MCU over the last few months and is now an avid Loki fan. And I put in our little group chat last night at about 10:30. Good luck for all the announcements tonight. Salute emoji. Since the panel is at 1:30 a.m, I won't see it until the morning. But if some of the rumors are true, then I'm actually going to poo myself in excitement. I was referring to the Young Avengers trailer, the Young Avengers announcement and de-aged Iron Man 4 announcement. I'm glad that latter one hasn't been announced. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that, but there were some pretty extreme announcement rumors going around. Doctor Strange 3 was also rumored for a release between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Heard nothing about that, could still be true. And Archie just responded with, why is Thor crying? And I said, I don't think they're telling us that at the panel. But they did joke about it, which was pretty funny, because we all want an answer. Why was Thor crying? Then we got this amazing new Doctor Doom trailer. 18th of the 12th, 26 is Doomsday, with, of course, the Avengers logo in there, and a really bold, striking look at Robert Downey, not at Robert Downey Jr., at the Doom costume, which is incredibly exciting. I mean, in addition to the brief look at Doom we got in that trailer where he just sort of flicks away Stormbreaker. By the way, Thor really needs to stop Stop going in for the headshot. Like, come on, please. And of course, in that trailer, it was really announced, especially through Thor's voiceover, that Doom is an especially threatening foe, as you would expect. And, everybody is terrified of his appearance. And especially in the little tease we got for that trailer, or the leaks we've heard from that trailer, rather, or the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, where he's saying all of you have lived stone lives. It sounds like, although there's obviously going to have to be a lot of build-up work done as to why Doom is the villain here, given that there's not been loads of build-up, I'm sure, I have confidence that they're going to, especially with Robert Downey Jr. in The Mask, I think they're going to make Doom a very interesting character, as the MCU has always been so good at doing with their villains. But lovely, very, very nice poster there. Then, to wrap things up, new Black Panther film. Black Panther 3 is the working title for this film, and it will star Letitia Wright, David Johnson, and Winston Duke. David Johnson coming into position as playing an aged up T'Challa Jr. He is going to be our new male Black Panther, at least. Letitia Wright, I presume, or Letitia Wright. Sorry, apologies if I'm butchering names here. I don't mean to be. They might be doing a Black Panther duo, apparently, which I think would be very cool. I don't know how ready everybody is. We don't really know until we see it what it would be like to have another sort of full Black Panther film, because obviously Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a full Black Panther film, and they had Black Panther in that film, but obviously they're having to deal with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman within that film. So I do think a duo Black Panther could be a very exciting way to go here. I have to say, David Johnson, who's been like sort of The Long Walk and Alien Romulus, was not who I was expecting here. Not who I was expecting at all. I was very much expecting Damson Idris to be the brand new Black Panther. So there is a little sense of disappointment, just given that, like, I'm not a huge Damson Idris fan. I've got no strong opinions on it either way. I've seen him in F1. Thought he was pretty good there. Thought good performance. But David Johnson, somebody who I'm less aware of, he was in The Long Walk and Alien Romulus, really are his big starring roles so far. Interestingly, I think he's a very good age to play Black Panther. He's 32, but equally, like, looks, in certain photos of him, looks quite young. That could be just some of the photos were taken a few years ago, but he generally looks, he can look a bit younger, so they could, even though he is 32, they could play with sort of the age he is very well, so that they don't have to a massive time skip with regards to Black Panther Jr. That released in 2028, though, so I think the whole time skip thing will be the least of our worries at that point, because there's going to be a new streamlined universe, apparently, which is very, very exciting. Obviously, what do you call it? Not the Doomsday Comics, the Secret War comics from Jonathan Hickman, written by Jonathan Hickman in 2015. Obviously do lead towards that. So very, very exciting. Johnson then stepped out to a standing ovation from the crowd. He said, "I want to say thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kevin Feige. Oh, yes, Ryan Coogler's returned to direct, excitingly, after the smash hit that was Sinners. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Kevin Feige. Thank you to this amazing family that I have the honor and privilege and the blessing to join. I actually don't want to say too much because I want to let the screen do the talking. But believe me, the honor is entirely mine." And that is very, very exciting. We sort of knew we began a brand new Black Panther. I have to say, I am hyped solely because we are getting a third Black Panther. Ryan Coogler is returning to Wakanda, as it says here. Amazing director, obviously, as I mentioned, after the smash hit of Sinners. Lovely to have him back in the MCU. And just to have... I'm excited largely just because we are seeing the future of Wakanda here, and we are being told something's coming. A bit like Ghost Rider, it's largely a tease solely with the title itself. We're getting Black Panther 3. We haven't even got a proper subtitle yet, but it's just nice to know it's coming and exciting to know that we're going to get what should hopefully be another very good Black Panther film from Ryan Coogler here. And if anybody knows, has seen David Johnson in a lot of stuff, please do share your thoughts in the comments, or you can email the show at hwsnapbreak podcast, because I'm very curious to see what you think of his performances. I haven't seen him in anything, but very curious to see what he is like as the brand new male Black Panther. So, those are all the announcements down. A whistle-stop whirlwind tour, if you will, of Marvel Studios' appearance at Hall H for San Diego Comic-Con. All in all, I have to say, it's a pretty exciting Hall H. There's not... I was always sort of a bit bemused that they were doing a Hall H this time around, because after... I thought initially, up until this week, I thought this makes perfect sense. They're going to drop the Doomsday trailer. And then the Doomsday trailer dropped early. And then, obviously, they did show us another Doomsday trailer, but the rest of the world didn't get to see it. So, I do think it's a bit of a slightly bizarre one. I can only presume they'll be back next year to share Secret Wars-based stuff. I can only guess. But it's a bit of a difficult one, because obviously, you've got your two biggest films in years coming up. Arguably, what the MCU has been leading up to for years now. Well, supposedly. But very big films for the MCU coming up that could redefine the MCU in so many ways. So to do announcements that are so specifically based on really the sort of several year future of your cinematic franchise is a bit difficult when the next 2 years are sort of very much taken up by films that will drastically change the future of your franchise. So I think they did good. The kid did good. They did well with what they were able to show us. Ghost Rider is my standout. That's very, very exciting. Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling. Come on, let's go. Doomsday stuff all looks very, very exciting. Ryan Reynolds, fun to get an appearance in there. And new Black Panther film, obviously, that along with Ghost Rider are really the key takeaways. At risk of sounding like an old man, it is a little sad that the other thing was Vision Quest released in October, which is very soon, but I'm all for it. Very exciting. Can't wait for that. So presumably we'll get a trailer for that very, very soon. I was maybe expecting to hear a little bit more about that, but I look forward to getting a trailer for that. That will be exciting. But all in all, a pretty solid Hall H. Not sound like an old man, but I don't remember the days. Where back in May in 2019 they announced, as I mentioned earlier, so many films, which they obviously can't do anymore because so many of them got delayed or cancelled, and obviously COVID played into that, and there was so much going on. But I certainly didn't feel the hype with this one so much as I did 2 years ago or even 4 years ago. There wasn't that immense excitement there so much, but there's still a lot of exciting stuff to be enjoyed here, and Ghost Rider is my key takeaway. I'm very, very excited for that. And I look forward to getting more news in the coming weeks and months with regards to the upcoming Avengers films and indeed the films that were announced here. And Vision Quest as well, which is very, very exciting. That has been our very quick discussion, emergency episode of Marvel Studios San Diego Comic-Con Hall H announcements. If you've got any thoughts on those, you can drop those thoughts in the comment section down below, or you can email the show at hwsnackbreakpodcast@gmail.com. For now though, I've been Ben Blue. This has been a Hungry Cap Hour production. Have a very good day. See you soon. Stay safe.